6 o'clock. You're watching Sky News, the Diamond Jubilee River pageant, and we are just watching as the London Philharmonic Orchestra brings to a conclusion, with music of a naval and seafaring nature, this glorious parade of 1,000 boats down river from Chelsea, where Her Majesty the Queen embarked upon the royal barge. Let's listen to this wonderful music as Rule Britannia is sung loud and glorious. The Queen absolutely adores these naval songs. She was dancing along earlier on to the previous music. But now, the national anthem. With every boat saluting Her Majesty at the conclusion of the Diamond Jubilee Thames River pageant. The bascules of the Tower Bridge are down, the sign just goes on. And Her Majesty the Queen will now disembark from the royal barge, which has served so well and kept her dry. You know, they wrote after the coronation in 1953, when it poured with rain from beginning to end, and yet everybody turned out. They wrote a book called Nobody Minded the Rain. And then, just as now, the Queen went through London, then in the golden state coach, but today on a golden barge. Rain poured down. but she's just thoroughly enjoyed it, I think. Saying thank you to all the organisers. Sir Donald Gosling, closest to us on the right, a very good friend of Her Majesty, who's been so good at helping Her Majesty with many of her seafaring interests. She'll disembark from the barge, go below the deck, followed by other members of the royal family. His Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, who's always been at her side these last 60 years of her reign. Also by the Prince of Wales, the Duchess of Cornwall, Prince Harry, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Other members of the royal family will be waiting on board HMS President. It's quite interesting that in 1897, the Prime Minister of the day was Lord Salisbury. And who organised this great Diamond Jubilee Thames River pageant? Well, the chairman was Lord Salisbury. And he follows Her Majesty down. He's in that crowd behind the royal household, having said goodbye to Her Majesty. There's Lady Susan Hussey, who's been a lady in waiting for many years. Prince Charles's equerry, other members of the household. And lastly, in uniform, Major Jamie Lowther Pinkerton of the Irish Guards, who was an equerry to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and now is private secretary to both Prince William and his wife, and also Prince Harry. There's Lord Salisbury just behind the umbrella, making his way to the exit. We've got a lot of rain on our lens there, but the Queen's barge master, who leads the Royal Watermen, caped this time, wearing his distinctive white silk stockings, waits for Her Majesty to disembark. And when she does, the Royal Standard will be removed from the royal barge, its job having been done. And on disembarking, she will then be met by the First Sea Lord, Admiral Sir Mark Stanhope, who waits with the meeting party of the Royal Navy, and we'll hear her piped aboard a shore-based establishment known as HMS President, I was talking about before, and her gut, many supporters will hear that wonderful sound. She is obviously the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and so we'll listen as the boatswain's whistle is sounded, which will be for the salute for Her Majesty the Queen. She won't spend very long. She'll doubtless be thanking all those on board the barge for looking after both her and her guests for the few hours that she's been on board, and that this has been the royal barge and the centre of this event. Then she'll climb up from the pontoon into HMS President itself. History is made by the gestures of a nation, and today the United Kingdom, with the support of the Commonwealth, has put on a fabulous display here in London on the Great River Thames. We've heard that between 1 and 2 million people came to central London today. Probably more like 1.2 million. It's just my earpiece is playing up after all this rain. Not that I've had much in my ear. But that's an incredible number of people, managed by the police, by St John Ambulance, by all the emergency services, and it's passed without drama. And I hope everyone's had a wonderful day, despite the fact that they're going to need, I think there'll be a lot of hot baths drawn tonight. A lot of whiskey may be drunk too, as hot toddies are mixed with some good warm water and honey. I know that Eamon Holmes will be returning home to exactly that warm-up after leading our programme so magnificently. Meanwhile, we wait for Her Majesty the Queen. For the Queen, 2 more days of engagements to mark her Diamond Jubilee officially. She then has more events after she disappears from public gaze on the Tuesday evening, after she's attended the service at St Paul's Cathedral in the morning. She gives dinner for Governors General of her realms. She's Queen of 16 countries, and those that she doesn't live in, she has a Governor General who represents her, chosen by the people of that nation through their own governments and parliaments. Dermot, you've taken over the programme, and you have been watching this probably at home, and now we wait for Her Majesty the Queen. Are you all dry like me, I hope?
Indeed, Alistair, as you've been saying, a soggy but triumphant end to proceedings. How have you enjoyed the day? Because I know you have, Alistair.
Yeah, I really have. It's been simply fantastic. We've had this wonderful music played throughout. We've seen